Throwing. Okay, so, right. Episode 12. Should be 14. But technology, hey?
But you can't count.
And that, yeah, we'll go with that one. So, episode 12 is called Then versus Now.
Then versus now.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay, so it's all about, how things were different then, i.e., back in the 40s, and now.
Back in the 40s? Come off it.
And
I wasn't born till 45.
and now in the 2020s. So, one of the first questions I have is, do you think that the youth of today are softer or just raised differently?
Both.
Okay.
When you look at some of the people that are getting paid lots of money to play football or something like that, then they're softer.
Mm-hmm.
But and growing up, everything now is all technology.
Mm-hmm.
So it does make it more awkward probably for some of the kids nowadays than what it did in my day.
Yeah.
Because we used to have to do things for ourselves, where nowadays you can sit indoors and don't really have to come out.
Mm.
You can do everything through your phone, through the computer, whatever you like. You don't even have to go out and look for it anymore.
Right. So
you don't go out to play. You don't see the kids in the street anymore.
Mm.
It's but if you do see them in the street, they're doing things they shouldn't be, like riding these scooters.
The electric ones, yeah.
Electric ones, which is a danger because they don't know what they're doing, and they don't look.
Some will go up to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, but when we used to have to go out and play, we used to make our own entertainment. We used to have playing fields though, so we could go and play in football or hockey or basketball, anything like that. We all used to join in.
And now they're filling them with houses instead, aren't they?
Yep, and that's just people don't have to do what they want to do. And one of the other things that I've always said is that you should have money in your pocket. The coin should still be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I agree with that. Cash is king.
The people, when we was kids, would know you got coins in your pocket, you know how much you had to spend.
Mm-hmm.
And once you run out of money, once you run out of coins, then you couldn't buy anything.
I was
But nowadays,
exactly the same with that.
You have a card, and if that card runs out,
you get another card.
You just ask for another one from another company, and they give it to you. So you finish up with, instead of having we might have had 20 pence or £1 in your pocket, and you knew that's all you had. Nowadays you can have 5, 10, 20, 30,000 pounds in debt.
Yeah.
Just for your cards.
Just because of the cards, yeah.
And then you can't pay it off. It's but to go with that is the kids in my day when I was a kid was you got the higher education, and they didn't have so much to pay back now as what they have to do. The children, kids they're not kids, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Their amount of money they have to pay back is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the interest. It's not even that how much they've got to pay back. It's the interest.
Yeah, it's you buy it, you get something, and then you find out it's going to cost you more because you forgot to put the VAT on it or something.
Yeah.
It's it is harder in that sense. And the kids in my time, we all used to play together. Nowadays, they don't want to play together, sort of thing. They want to be a bit of alone.
So would you say that technology then has had sort of the biggest impact and making kids, maybe soft is not the right word, but it's caused a lot more damage rather than good for the youth.
Yeah, because you don't integrate with. We used to have to integrate with everybody, you know, whether you wanted to or not. But nowadays, you can do anything you want without even leaving your house. You know, but it's the way the world's going.
Yeah, it's always going to go.
I don't know what
go forward.
You know, like your age, you're probably all right. But if you have children, what work are they going to get? Because everything will be running itself. You'll have robots doing it all, and technology will take over.
Well, my grandkids definitely. They'll be.
You know,
that will be the
won't
era
be able
of AI.
Yeah. The thing is, you know, like national health, pensions. Pensions, I don't think you won't get a government pension. Like in 2 generations' time, you won't have a pension because there's no money going into the government, so they can't give it out if they ain't getting it in. And your national health, well, that's going. You know, the people want a living wage. Yes, fair enough, but everything is costing more to do what people were doing before for basically for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, because they wanted to do it. But nowadays, everybody's paid for it, and it's where is it going to come from? You know, I think we've got to start looking at the input into it, like people getting drunk on a Friday night, Saturday,
going into
Sunday,
A&E.
and then going to A&E because they've fallen over or they've got cut or they've been in a fight because they've drunk too much. Those people should get charged for it. If it's not caused through an accident, then
I agree with that.
Get it. They shouldn't get it
for free. No, I agree.
They should have to pay for it.
It's because it's your own doing.
Yeah, you've done it on yourself. You know, it's and you know, football accidents and stuff like that. Then there is a borderline. People will probably have to take out an insurance that covers if you're a footballer, a basketball player, a hockey player, tennis, any sport. I think eventually you're going to find that you're going to have an insurance because people are going to be suing other people and somebody's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got an insurance, you're going to have to pay for it. You know, if you're lucky. But that's the way it's going. You know, you've got to try and make something of it now, not let it get out of hand. It's
well, while I was on the topic of technology, I had a question which would be interesting with your insight. What's the biggest change technology has made to people, both positive and negative, from you seeing it being from created throughout all the years as it's developed and advanced?
Well, for all things positive would probably be safety, because a lot of things we used to do that nowadays you'd never be allowed to walk into it.
Yeah. And also just safety for like women and things like that as well.
Sorry?
And also things like safety for women and things like that as well.
Yeah. When you look at, if you look to when the war was on, and you look at the women working in the factories, it was like going back to when you was doing the wool and cloth and stuff like that. It's it's gone on from there, so it's got better. But also, sometimes it is bad as well as good, because the people get so used to having a safety device there that they tend to not think about what they're doing, and that can then cause problems because you're allowing the machine to do it or something of that sort. You should, somewhere along the line, you should think to yourself, if I was to put my hand there or I was to push that switch down there, then something would go wrong and I could get hurt. But because people rely so much on the technology, that accidents happen, and you could have not had that accident if you'd have thought about it in my time, where you didn't have all the safeguards.
Yeah.
It's so it works both ways.
Would you? Oh, I've heard people say that it's brought us closer together.
What's that?
Technology. Would you say it has or hasn't? Because I think it's a 50-50 really.
I think that it's all according to what you're doing, because of technology is a good assistance, but you should also still use your own mind.
Yeah.
That is yours.
Definitely.
If you don't, then sometime or other you're going to get an accident. You know, it's like I've noticed when children get taken to, when they come out of school and they are taken along the paths to look at traffic signs, look for traffic, you look for this, you look for that. And one of the things that they forget is to, when you're walking along the path, is to look to see if there's cars in the garden or there's cars on the drive. Because all of a sudden somebody could put their
Reverse out.
car into gear and reverse out on them.
Yeah.
And because they're looking at the road, they're looking for people that are driving down the road, they're looking at the signs, they're forgetting that somebody could come from the other side. And it does sort of make you think of what the people are doing, but what they're doing is what they've been told to do. It's not what everybody should be thinking about. It's stuff that they've been taught how to do it.
Yeah.
And that is technology. You're taught that whatever's there, that is right. But what is there sometimes is not enough. You've got to use common sense.
Of course, yeah. Because the reason why, like, to me, when I say the technology brought us both closer together and also further apart, is because it leads on to another one of my questions. But I'd say it brings us closer together in terms of a world sense. Like, you're able to connect with someone halfway across the world, any moment in time, with just the press of a button. You're able to get in contact with. It brings us closer to strangers in the world, which is sometimes good as well. You're able to network people, like-minded individuals. But it leads on to the next question, which is, are phones actually making people less sociable and causing communities in general, i.e. villages, to disappear?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you for there. Because I was talking with people that were here years ago, and it was little. We was walking the dogs, and we all met up, and it gets developed. You know, you start talking about different things, and we were saying about this village. Everybody knew everybody else. If children were in trouble, people would know everybody, knew who owned those children, not owned them, that's the wrong word, knew where those children come from, so they could bring them back if they'd done something wrong or they was injured or anything like that. But now, when I walk round the village and walk the dog every day, I can walk round the village and not see anybody
Yeah.
because
No one says
the
hello.
younger
No one. Yeah.
the younger kids are indoors on phones, iPads. The older people are out at work because normally now it's two people have to go out to work to earn enough money to do what they want to do. Where we used to have one person was always at home, whether it was man or woman, it doesn't really matter. One of them was at home. But nowadays, it's not like that anymore. When you get a train strike, we've got cars in every drive. There's two, sometimes three cars in a drive or on the road. When we get a strike, buses, trains, the village empties. There's only about 3 or 4 cars in the village
Yep.
because everybody, it's a computer piece. Everybody goes out. That's it. They all go out and you never see
All at
anybody.
the same time. Yeah.
All at
back
the
at the same
same
time. Yeah.
Yeah, all at the same time.
It's like a revolving circle.
Yeah. It's like an New bird. It goes round and round and disappears.
Yeah. So the next sort of couple of questions are just more about people, in terms of their mindset and how they are, etc. Do you think did people complain less back in your day?
This might sound funny. People used to complain in a nice way.
Right. You're gonna have to explain that.
As I was saying about the children, you know, people used to bring your children back to you because they'd done something.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never nasty. It was always, I've told your child off about this because he's done so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
And you was talking to the parents of that child. And nobody used to sort of try and kick hell out of one another or go and get a sword or a knife and, you know, come and sort it out. There was the odd ones that were, you would watch how you said things to them. But people were more involved with one another rather than being, send the kid off.
Yeah. Sodger, yeah.
And nowadays you get people that swear at the kids and, you know, tell them to clear off and the kids just turn around and answer them back. But when it happened years ago, because everybody was known by everybody else, if you said that, you knew it was going to get back home and you'd get in trouble. Because my mum, she was only like 5 foot, a little short woman, about 7 stone at the most, wringing wet. And she couldn't hit me because I was bigger than her. By the time I was like 12, I was bigger than her. And she wouldn't try and whack me because she knew that it was going to hurt her more. He was going to whack me. But what she used to do was she could hit the lobe of my ear hole at 30 paces. I'm sure she could. And she'd just give you a little flick. And you go, oh, what was that for? You know, never hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that you was leaving handprints or anything like that on them, you know. But she used to say, that's for doing so-and-so at some time or other, you know. She says, and there's another one, she says, and that's for later on when you do something else. You know, but it's... but nowadays, I would say you wouldn't really want to take any child back to their parents because the amount of trouble that you're liable to get yourself into. And it's even like school teachers, you know, you can't touch a child now. You know, even if they're fighting, you're not supposed to break them up.
You can't separate, you get in trouble.
You get in trouble with it. Where it's gone too far one way, you know. It's but that's life. That's the way people are brought up nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And us old ones, we've got to live with it.
Yeah.
Although we don't like it, we've got to live with it. It's because most of them are grandchildren now. It's
Excuse me?
not children anymore. You know. It's yeah. It's one of those things. You've got to live with it. But the more technology that comes in, it's going to get worse.
Mm. What about adults though? Did adults complain more then than they do now? As in, because I see a lot of people now. Obviously, they complain a lot about like the state of the economy, the state of the government, the country, this person this, that person that. They just go on and on and on. It's all people seem to talk about now. Is just complaining.
Yeah. Yeah,
was that the case back then as well? Or?
Yeah, I think they do complain more now than what they did before. And a lot of it is over the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's just people.
Yeah.
You know, that comes with technology as well, because technology tell them to do this and technology tell them to do that, and they do it thinking it's the right thing to do. Where because we never had it when we was younger, you would have more conversations rather than come to the boil too fast. You know, it's because nowadays you never know what's going to happen if you went round somebody's house and told them off. You know, or went round and knocked on the door and said, your kid's done so-and-so, you know. Nowadays you never know what would happen. But 9 times out of 10, you could discuss it with somebody. And most of the time, the kids used to sort it out themselves in any case.
Yeah.
The kids used to be playing with one another. And then 10 minutes later, they'd be playing with one another from after an argument, you know. So,
do you think people are more happier now or more stressed?
I think they're more stressed. But
I agree.
Just my opinion. That is because of what I've just said. They see things on their phones, on their iPads, on the computer. They see things on there and they think they're right. But you should look at everything rather than just one thing. You know, it's like the new party with Farage in charge of it. If you was to put Arsenal, West Ham, Fulham, Wembley, if you was to put all those people as a crowd in for a game of football, you would probably find that you would finish up with all of them fighting with one another. And what has he got? He has got Labour, Conservative, Greens, Rebels from anywhere, all in there together. And what's going to happen, they've all, to me, in my mind, they've all got their own ideas. But how are they going to lose the ideas that they've had for the last 20 years? Put them all together. You're not going to get an agreement that you want. You know, it's people that were Conservatives or Labour or the Greens. They've always been that, and what they want is basically the same.
Yeah, they're that and that.
But all of those in Farage's place is going to be, we've got to sort this out first before we can sort something else out.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen, I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I would say people are more stressed for a number of reasons. Which it does lead on to my next question, which I'll get onto that. But I think one of the things are people take life too seriously now. As in, they don't sit there and think and actually enjoy the little things in life. They go, I need to go to work. I need to do this. I need to do that. 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 Instead of just going, obviously you have to do certain things, but they get so fixated on certain things. They get stressed out. They focus too much. Another thing is, a lot of people get so fixated on their job when actually they're just a number. When tomorrow, if they could let you go tomorrow and you're replaceable, they'd have someone lined up the next day. But yet you're stressing yourselves out for an extra 2-3 hours a day to make sure this is hit, that's hit, that's hit. But actually, at the end of the day, why?
Yeah, it's as you say, it's as you asked one of the other questions, it's where people used to talk to people. Nowadays, they look at it and they think that is right. Where, like when I used to go, when I was at work, I used to be in work quarter of an hour, maybe 20 minutes before I was due to clock on. And we'd all stand around and talk. And it might be the person that you've only seen 12 hours ago. Because where our shifts used to change round, on one of my shifts, there was less than 12 hours from when I come away from work to when I had to be back for work. But we'd all talk together and we'd all, whatever we was discussing, we'd go off and you'd talk to somebody when you come home, like the wife or the kids might say something. And when you go back to work, there's a different attitude. But because everybody sits at a computer nowadays, or a lot of people sit at a computer nowadays, they don't talk to one another. And call centres is a typical one, isn't it? Because what does anybody do? They go to work and they sit in front of a computer screen. They turn it on. They work through the day. They turn it off and they go home. And they're stressed. Because when they go home, what they've done during the day stresses them out because they're not talking to anybody. They're only talking to somebody that's on the screen or on the other end of the line. Now, but when we went to work, because we had to do different things and people got together and they'd go down the canteen and they'd all have dinner at the same time, or when you was on nights, you'd be your shift and half of the shift would go to break and then they'd come back and then the other half would go and you might be talking about different things. And then when you come back and you're all together again, you might be talking to somebody. Oh, yes, so-and-so said when we was at break. But because people don't do that anymore, then everybody becomes further apart.
And I think people worry too much these days as well. Like, one thing is that I've always said, I don't really get stressed myself because I just say that you have to ask yourself two things. Can I change it? If something's happened that you're worried about or stressing about, can I change that now? Can I do something now to change it? If not, then it's out of your control. And then the other thing you got to ask is it in my control? Is it outside control? Because at the end of the day, if it's something that you can't change or fix, or it's not in your control, it's a bit like worrying, why is the sky blue? You can't change the fact the sky is blue.
That's it.
So why are you worrying about that?
The first part of your question, or your question there was, you shouldn't do it straight away.
Well, no, of course not.
You should think about it before you do it.
Yeah, I don't mean act brashly.
Yeah, because if you don't think about it, you just do it, then that can lead into more trouble than what you had in the first place.
But I mean, like, for example, this is just like a small example, the two examples. You're driving your car, you see a light come up. You see a warning light come up. You start stressing. Well, what can you do about it? You can pull over, you can assess it, you can phone the mechanic, there you go, solved. Instead of stressing. The other side is, Trump has started a war with, let's just say, Trump started a war with Uzbekistan for some, for whatever reason is, and you're worried that it might affect you. Can you change that? No. Is that out of your control? Yes.
Yeah.
So why are you worrying?
Yeah.
There's the two sides.
The only part of the worry on that would be is for parents,
Of course, yeah. There's little
because
bits
of
of that.
what they're doing, and it goes back to shouldn't really say it, I suppose, but religion. You look at every war that's going on, every fight that's going on, is always back to two religions not getting on.
Yep.
Um,
Well, that's something I was going to bring up in another
it's-
episode, so that's fine.
yeah. So it's, you shouldn't, with, you brought Trumpy up as an example. He wants what he wants, and it's not what everybody else wants.
Mm.
Where you should be able to talk to different people, like the Arabs. They wanted to get involved with it, and talk to the other side. Well, somewhere along the line, there's got to be somebody that can actually talk to them. But if you jump in, like he's done, then there's no talking.
Yeah.
And if you're bombing the living daylights out of everybody, it's never going to work. And when you look at who they're fighting, who he's fighting, and he says, "Oh yeah, we're going to be this and we're going to be that," there is no way that you can kill off terrorists, because there will always be terrorists there waiting to take it up. What you have to do, as far as I'm concerned, what you have to do is to find the people that can control those terrorists and put those people in.
Mm-hmm.
Not you go there and put them in, but you talk to them and you get them on your side, and we'll help you with this and we'll help you with that, to those people, which eventually then will calm down the terrorists, because the terrorists then know that they can't win. But it doesn't seem to work that way anymore.
Yeah.
I've got a bomb, I'll bomb you. And when you look at this straits that they're arguing about now, when you see the boats they've sunk, and you talk about pollution, nobody's mentioned all the oil slicks that are there.
Yep.
And when you look at, you got two boats, one here, one there, and in between it, on one of the pictures that's come up on the news, and there's a massive, great big oil slick right through the middle of it. Well, that's going to go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And who's going to clean that up?
No one.
No one's going to get round to it. So it's it's a hard thing to do, but there is people that can talk to other people without getting uptight and in trouble.
Yeah. Well, was it the last couple of questions before it's fish and chip time? Do you think that people take life too seriously then as well? Because I think people do now.
Yes, because
or did you have them people back in the day anyway?
No, I think people should. They do take it too seriously. They should look between the lines rather than just going, that's the way the line goes,
and actually enjoy themselves a little bit more.
Yeah. It's like when you used to have the old houses. You used to have people sit out in the front garden and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
I always remember, it goes back when I was a little kid, and the tellies were in black and white. And they was building high-rise flats. And an American come over, and he was building houses. Well, he was building like masonettes that were in America, and he was experimenting with them. And he come over here, and they'd asked him to come over here and look at our new flats and see what he thought of them.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, said, well, they're no good. He says, anybody over the 3rd floor won't let the kids out. He says, because if you're anything from 4th floor to the 20th floor, they won't let their kids out, because if anything happens to the kids who are playing outside, they can't get down to get to them.
No, yeah.
You know? And he said, you're better off, he said, we've found, he said, building masonettes which are just too high. But they're built like the old 1930s, 1940s blocks of houses, 2 up and 2 down.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and what we had was we had stairs that went down the back, and they had a path that went along, and the ones that were underneath, they had their own path there.
Yeah.
And he says, this is what we do. He said, we built them, he said, and we took out a big radio, one of those old big boom boxes.
Yep.
Massive, great big thing, you know. And he put a tape in there, and he went to a place where it was an old place that had all been built up. In any case, it was over here, masonettes. And he put on that tape that was of an argument that started out in the street. And before it had gone 5 minutes at the most, everybody come out. What's going on? All the doors open, people come out, you know, and went down and sorted it out, you know, what's going on, sort of thing, you know. And then when he went to the flats, he went to the middle of this big high-rise block of flats, and he put the boom box on, and he had people on every floor. And he said all you could hear was people putting the chains on the doors,
Yeah.
and locking their doors. They didn't want to know, because they knew that if they come out, they'd get involved with it, they could get thrown over the balcony.
Exactly that.
And he said, community. He said, you don't have to worry about your policing. The community's doing it for
Police,
you.
yeah.
And all the cars.
Neighbourhood watch.
And they had a car park at the end where everybody put their cars, you know. And he said, we've got as many people, because they was only like 2 up and 2 down, but fairly narrow, like the old ones, like the old houses used to be. He says, we've got as many people in this block as you've got in that high-rise flat. He says, but the people that are down here are going to be more happy than those people that are there.
Yeah.
And I always remember that being on the telly, you know, and you think to yourself, well, why didn't other people think of that? But
It is a good point, yeah.
People think that it's good to put these flats up, but all the ground that you waste down the bottom, that was another thing he brought up. You've got a car park underneath the flats, then you've got a big grassy area that nobody can use. Why not put rows of houses up, and then everybody can use it?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting how he used the boombox and that to sort of see how people would react.
Yeah. You know, it's he'd worked on it, and he, you know. But even over in America, they want to build high.
Yeah.
And they never, you know, really took it up. But yeah, you go back to when they used to have the coal mines, and all the people, 90% of the people would be friends with one another.
Yep.
Children were the only problem because they had too many. It was the only entertainment they had.
And then, so my last question is, Do you think people expect too much too soon now?
Yes, I think they do. Where we used to have to work and save for something, nowadays you don't have to work as much to get something because you can get it off of the net. Somebody's always got a sale on, and the small shops don't really get in on it because everything's basically, you can, if you want it, you just tap it in, get what you want.
Well,
Whether you can pay for it or not is irrelevant nowadays. Where before we used to think about, can we afford it?
Yeah.
You know, even when me and your nan got married, we only ever had one thing on knock every time, and we paid that one off before we got something else.
Look at that one, yeah.
But nowadays, what do people do? Youngsters now, when they go into a house, into a flat, everything has to be.
I'll have that.
Yeah, everything has to be new.
Yeah. Like it, that people do still like have to work and put in the work and everything. But that's the thing. People want it before they put in the work. Like for example, in sales.
Yeah.
There's a thing in sales. It's like, don't spend your commission before you get it.
Yeah.
So people already thinking, even before the money's even landed in the till, you're going, I'm going to get 10 grand for this. What can I buy?
Yeah.
Now they've already eyed up something that's 6 grand and something that's 3 grand, and now they're only left with 1 grand.
Yeah.
But the money's not even in the till yet. But they're looking at that, and then they might even go, you know what, I'm going to buy it now because I've got the money sitting there. That money's going to come in. They'll buy it, and then the deal won't even come through. It'll fall through. And then
I was just gonna say that.
And then they're like, shit, I've got left with 6 grand worth of debt.
That's it. You've got 6 grand's worth of sitting there.
Yeah. It
might be, say, this 3-piece suite. You know, 6 grand for 2 pieces of leather sweets.
Yeah.
But you can't send it back.
No, because it's yours now. You used it.
Yeah. You know, if you want to send it back, it might have cost 6 grand when they bought it in, but it's only worth maybe 400 quid when it goes out.
Exactly that. It goes back to patience, really, isn't it? It's maybe less people want things too soon. One, because as we brought up about technology, comparison. They see someone else has got that. I want that. I want to either one-up them or I want the same.
Yeah.
Or they're just not patient.
Yeah.
They've lost the sense of patience.
Yeah. When I was at work, there was a fella there that I used to go to school with. And he got with a colour girl, and they bought a place out where she come from. And, we put the money in and we do this and we put the money in and we do that. But he'd never actually got it yet.
Yeah.
And if anything had gone wrong,
he's
got all the money that he's put in there.
But it doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, as luck would have it, he did it. He eventually retired just before I did, and he got through there, and he was lucky.
Yeah, but you can't bank on it though, can you?
But you can't guarantee it.
No.
You know, especially the way the world is at the moment now. Most of it is electronics, and it can go wrong. Somebody can push a wrong button on a computer, can't they?
Yeah.
You know, and once you push that button, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 100%.
You've either got to pay it or do a run somewhere.
I think do a run is probably the idea. Right, well, we'll leave it there for today because we've got fish and chips coming, which Mum will turn up sooner or later. There are more questions for now than on versus now, so we will do another episode like this again because I think it's quite good just to see the comparisons. And the other 2 episodes, which were meant to be 13 and 14, they will be released sometime in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, any questions you got, leave down in the comments, and we'll go for it.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.